Hi, and welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. I thought we'd change things up a little and focus on a few characters from children's books. Having been a comic strip creator for the first dozen years of my career, I've spent the past 20 years as a children's book author and illustrator. I know, I've got to get around to listing all my books and stuff, and I will, but not today. Today we're going to draw a character that I have been inspired by my entire life, ever since picking up the book for the first time as a child. That's one of the Wild Things, and Maurice Sendak's masterpiece, Where the Wild Things Are. Anyway, all you'll need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Before we get started, make sure you hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow. You hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. All right, so let's draw one of the Wild Things. We're going to draw our Wild Thing step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw him again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. Our Wild Thing is almost exactly 2 heads tall. In other words, however tall his head is, his entire body is 2 of those, not counting his right foot. All right, so let's start with a roadmap for our Wild Thing. Maybe we need to give him a different name. How about Skip? Jim. Let me ponder that for a while. So here. So there's a roadmap for our Wild Thing from the classic children's book, Where the Wild Things Are. Now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help me to know where to put the Wild Thing's eyes, mouth, and other things. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. So let's rough out our Wild Thing's features. One last thing, when I was talking about how many heads tall our Wild Thing is, and I said that it's his right foot that goes below those 2 head heights, it's his left foot. Anyways, now that I've got that corrected, let's rough out our Wild Thing's features. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for our Wild Thing. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for the final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw the final details for our Wild Thing, or Skip, Biff, John. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work figuring that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. Always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving until the very end. So let's draw in the details for our Wild Thing. Phil, Gilbert, Pete. All right, there he is, our Wild Thing from the classic children's book, Where the Wild Things Are. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn a Wild Thing before, then you cannot expect to have drawn him perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring him during this video, nor did I talk about the technique of cross-hatching, used extensively by Sendak in the book Where the Wild Things Are, and something I will do a lesson or two on in the future. But I want this lesson to focus solely on the process of drawing. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing one of Maurice Sendak's Wild Things. With that, you can draw him again and again, and by all means color him when you're done. I promise each time you draw him, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. For those of you who want to go a little deeper, click on the link below for my free 4-part drawing series, where I spend more time explaining the details and the thinking behind each step and what I call the level up cartooning process. So I'd love to see your version of one of Sendak's Wild Things. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. I hope you had fun with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.